If you are a real estate agent worried about standing out in a saturated market or a competitive market, keep watching this video because I'm going to break down not only how to stand out in a saturated market, but also why it shouldn't even be a worry on your mind. I'm Amanda Fezolani, co-founder of Designed for Agents, and on this channel, we help real estate professionals close more deals by mastering your marketing, branding, advertising, and production strategies. Now, let's dive in. I've got 5 reasons and ways that you can stand out in a saturated market. So number 1 is that, I'm going to say it, not every real estate agent in your market is closing deals. Now, why does this matter? You can actually, for most of us, we can go into our MLS and look at the market data and actually see which brokerage or office is closing the most deals, right? Who has what percentage of the market share? Now, this is not an option for you with your local MLS. There are some other websites that may be able to do this and help you out with it. But the fact remains that not every agent is closing a deal, right? So keep that in mind. There might be millions of agents, thousands of agents, hundreds of agents in your market area, depending on the size of it. And not every single one of them is closing a deal. That being said, I am a true believer that there is enough business for everyone. And I will explain why in number 2, right? So number 2 is that you want to make sure that you understand your numbers, right? So fun fact, stay with me here. I used to be a professional photographer, although I should say I still am because it's a passion of mine and I use it in our business all the time. But here's where this comes into play, where it works to your advantage, right? I took a course early on in my career to help me grow my business, just like you probably have taken some type of education for your real estate business. And I'll never forget that the mentor in this course said something that really struck a chord in me. And what she broke down was that when you run your numbers, you get a clear understanding of how many clients you need in order to achieve your goal. Now, as a real estate agent, let's say that the average sales price in your market area is somewhere around the ballpark of $350,000. And let's say that the average commission is somewhere around the ballpark of 2 to 3%. If you were to sit down and do the math for this, quick plug, we have the business plan blueprint for real estate agents and brokers in the description below. You can check that out if you're looking for a business plan for your real estate business. Going back to it, if you were to calculate what these numbers mean for you, what your GCI, your gross commission income, is going to be, if you close deals based on those numbers, you might find that to earn $100,000 in 1 year, you really only need 13 to 14 clients, right? And this means buyer or seller sides, right? So you only need to close 13 to 14 transactions in 1 year in that particular market with those price ranges and those commission rates in order to hit 6 figures. Now, why is this important? This is important because I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to be honest with yourself. Can you really not find 13 to 14 people in your market area to trust you to buy a home with you or sell their home with you? Really think about that number. There are 12 months in the year. Of all your efforts, all the hours you have in the day, can you really not find 13 to 14 people? And that's if your goal is 6 figures. Some of us don't even need to make 6 figures. Some of us, you're a part-time real estate agent and this is supplemental income. For others of us, 6 figures is like crazy living in the state that you live in, right? I'm in North Carolina and I think the average income to be comfortable here is around like $43,000, $44,000 a year. Totally different than when we were in New York, where you probably need like $300,000, right? So keep that in mind. When you run your numbers, it helps you understand how many people do you actually need to work with. And when you understand that, suddenly you're going to feel this weight come off of your shoulders because you'll understand, wow, that's all I need to convince. Like, for some reason, we build this up in our heads. Like, we need to convert 100 people. We need to close 100 deals. We need to like hit the pavement, work to the bone. And it's just not true, right? The number is probably much smaller than you might think it is. And how you get there, obviously, is going to take more work. And you can learn about that in the business plan that we have in the link in the description below. But overall, understanding that that number might not be as scary as you think it is. I hope that when I ask that question, can you really not find that many people, that you said to yourself, well, yeah, like, I'm trustworthy. I can find that many people, right? You might have that many people in your sphere of influence or their sphere of influence. You never know, right? So that is something to keep in mind. Now, let's jump into number 3. And that is, if you want to stand out in a saturated market, you want to make sure that you are not complicating things for yourself. Now, what do I mean by this? Number 3 is that you want to choose 2 to 3 marketing and prospecting activities that are actually going to move the needle for you and be something that you can be consistent at, right? So if you are someone who is just dreadfully uncomfortable with shooting video, with getting in front of a camera to create content for your business, if that is something you truly know about yourself, I would not rely on that as your, strategy for the year to bring business in. That's not something that you are going to be consistent in if you do it and like it makes you shake and shiver and you just don't want to do it, right? Same goes for cold calling, right? There are more ways to generate business than cold calling or organic content. There are so many ways, right? The saying goes, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. Same goes for your marketing and prospecting. There are so many different options. And honestly, that's what makes real estate hard. That is what makes this business so hard. It is that there's so many options. There's so many different ways that you can be successful in this business that a lot of us come into it and we're like, okay, I want to do this. 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 And the reality is you just need 2 to 3 solid things that you as an individual, as a brand, as a business are going to be good at. You're going to excel at. You're going to be consistent at, because those will be the things that you are known for. And when you're known for them, you stand out, right? So for us in our market, it was video, right? We did phenomenal with video. And for us in our market, we hit the phones, right? That was something we had fun with our team, right? And we did postcards, right? And there's a multitude of different things, including mega open houses, which are super fun. I could talk about that all day, right? But you want to pick what your 2 to 3 things are, stick with them, be consistent, because that is how you're going to stand out. You get remembered by doing something really good over and over and over again. That's branding 101. Now, number 4 is that especially, I cannot emphasize this more, for this year in particular, you want to focus on relationship building and follow-up. And you might hear that and it goes in one ear out another, or you might hear that and be like, yes, I know, I've been doing that. I've been doing that since 2 years ago, right? Great. That is fantastic, because what's going to happen is, right now there's uncertainty for buyers and sellers. They, interest rates are high. They don't really understand what's going on fully the way that you understand what's going on, because there's these scare tactics going on in the media where it just sounds scary. Foreclosures are higher than whatever, and interest rates just keep going up, and people can't afford stuff, and just all this scariness that it's really not that bad right now. It's not, and you know that, right? We know that as real estate professionals, but they don't fully know that, right? So it's important for you to build those relationships, focus on education, focus on branding, focus on following up. Because if you have the power to stay top of mind, do something consistently that you're remembered for very well over and over and over again, you're going to be remembered when the time comes that they are ready to buy, right? Not only is real estate a numbers game, but it's also a situation where you need to be there at the right time when they're ready to buy or sell. That's literally what the magic sauce is. Like, you need to figure out a way to put yourself in front of someone when they're ready to take action. That's literally the name of the game. And the more people you can do that with, the more deals you will close. So naturally, build relationships. Follow up, become a household name. Be the person that when Thanksgiving or family barbecues roll around and someone mentions real estate, instantly the other person is like, I have someone for you, and it's your name. right? Now, the last one, but not the least, is to not be afraid of trying new things. I think oftentimes we get licensed and we look to people who have achieved success, and we look to our brokers, our associate brokers, mentors, leaders, and we see what they've done and we say to ourselves, okay, that's exactly what I need to do to succeed. And while that may be true, there's also a little truth to the fact that you should try ideas that you have that maybe you've never seen before. Experiment. Your particular, 2 to 3 marketing and prospecting activities could include one thing that is unique to you that isn't really done commonly in your area, but you only would have known that that particular creative thing works if you tried it, right? You have to try it in order to see if it works. You have to test it. So don't be afraid to test. And the beauty of a market like the one that we're experiencing right now in 2023, and we're, going into as we navigate this, is that this is a great time for testing, right? You definitely want to have, your ducks in a row and have your typical things that work and are, working for you, bringing in business for you. But put some spare time, spare budget, whatever the case is for your particular situation, to test things, to get creative, to have fun with it. Right? Because you never know what's going to work for you, right? Because at the end of the day, what works in this business is unique to you, your market, your business, and your brand. Now, that sums up the 5 ways how to stand out in a saturated market or, competitive market. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Share this with a fellow team member or a fellow agent that would love it. And don't forget to subscribe to Marketing Mondays. The link is in the description below. We send it out every Monday morning, and it's chock full of bite-sized pieces of branding, marketing, production, and advertising strategies that you can implement in your business that week. I will see you in the next video. As always, I'm wishing you tons of happy new clients, accepted offers, and a whole lot of closings.